Tonight on 7 News, the hits keep coming. The price of groceries on the way up because of the global fuel crisis. Fears petrol rationing could be closer than we think. Hold your fire. Donald Trump backs away from his threat to obliterate Iran, but for how long? Chris Reason behind enemy lines in Lebanon, face to face with Hezbollah. Fixing Perth's hospital bed block. The first new health hub opens in Coburn. And Pat Voss forces the AFL to change the taunting rules. Ryan Daniels' exclusive chat with Justin Longmuir.
Live from Perth, this is 7 News with Tim McMillan.
Good evening. We're being told not to panic, but the government and retailers are planning and bracing for the impact of the fuel crisis. As the war in the Middle East drags on, there's now even talk of petrol rationing if supplies get too low, a measure not seen in Australia for almost 50 years.
The pressure is starting to show. Pain not just at the Bowser, but supermarket shelves.
The price is definitely on the way up.
Supply not grocers' number one problem. For now, it's their growers and suppliers' rising fuel costs that are being passed down at the checkout.
We'll see that right across fresh and dry groceries and down into the dairy and freezer as well in weeks to come.
As governments prepare to tackle the crisis, nothing is off the table. New South Wales entertaining a concept Australia hasn't heard in almost 50 years, fuel rationing.
If demand management procedures are required, that might be rationing. We're firmly of the belief that it should be a nationally consistent approach.
Today, the WA government wouldn't be drawn.
I don't think anyone can predict what's going to happen, particularly at a world stage, and then how that might impact us here. At the moment, all the advice that the state government is getting is that supplies are what we would expect them to be. They haven't been interrupted.
The force ready if called upon.
We are always prepared for the worst, but we are nowhere near that yet.
Canberra confirming 6 WA petrol stations have run out of fuel. It's much worse on the east coast. New South Wales has 164 stations without diesel, 289 without one type of fuel. In Victoria, 162 stations are without one or more fuel grades. As petrol drive-offs surge nationwide,
we've seen a 30% lift in the level of drive-offs over the last 2 weeks versus the rolling average.
One solution being flagged, mandatory prepay before you fill up.
Everyone should prepay. I've lived in America and it's not that hard.
You know, at the end of the day, prepaid can be an answer or it can be a further problem.
From a fuel theft perspective, we've always recommended prepaying of fuel.
A move industry says will rob Australian petrol stations of around $3 billion in retail sales.
When you put up a brick wall and actually get the customer to pull out and make a payment before they even enter the retail store, what happens is they just don't enter the retail store.
Cab drivers are calling out for help too. Taxi fares are regulated and capped by government. Black and White Cabs says it's absorbing almost all its rising fuel costs, up almost 60% since February.
We've said to the governments around Australia we want a temporary fare increase. No response from the WA government to date.
The average price of regular unleaded petrol is going up by another 11 cents a litre tomorrow. The highest prices are here at Caltex and Ampol, some outlets up to $2.70 a litre. The advice is fill up tonight to avoid being stung. But only as much as you need. Stockpiling doesn't help anyone. Cassidy Moscone, 7 News.
A man's been charged over an Armidale fuel drive-off that put a petrol station worker in hospital. Brianna Infrera is at Royal Perth. Brianna, how are his injuries?
Tim, he's in a stable condition and will spend his second night in the state trauma unit. Investigators managed to speak to him today over what happened yesterday at the Vibe petrol station. He suffered serious facial injuries after trying to stop a car driving off. Detectives say it was being driven by Glenn McCaw. The 39-year-old was arrested late last night. The alleged petrol thief on the run for almost 11 hours. He faced court today on a string of charges, including stealing, dangerous driving and failing to stop. The accused driver is currently behind bars and is set to face court again next month. Tim.
Bree, thank you. Iran's stranglehold on the Strait of Hormuz could be about to end. Just hours from Donald Trump's deadline to reopen the crucial waterway, the president backflipped, suggesting a peace deal now could be possible instead. It's a dramatic shift that could signal a path out of the war.
Buried but breathing. Rescuers claw through the rubble in Tehran after a hit on an apartment. While half a world away,
who doesn't love Elvis? Everybody loves Elvis.
The man ordering the strikes casually strolls through Elvis Presley's home, Graceland.
He was terrific.
Claiming to have held secret talks with Iran.
They called. I didn't call. They called. They want to make a deal. And we are very willing to make a deal.
A change in tone days after his ultimatum, threatening to obliterate the country's power plants if the Strait of Hormuz wasn't reopened within 48 hours.
We're doing a 5-day period. We'll see how that goes. Otherwise, we'll just keep bombing our little hearts out.
The problem is, Iran is still launching attacks and publicly denies the talks, accusing Donald Trump of lying to manipulate the markets. Already stocks have gone up and oil prices have dropped, but adding to the confusion, Trump won't say who his negotiators, Steve Witkoff and son-in-law Jared Kushner, are talking to.
Because I don't want them to be killed.
Then adding,
they do have some leaders left. We blew up group number 1, group number 2, a lot of group number 3, but we think we have people that are very representative of the country and will do a good job.
Including a deal which could see the Strait of Hormuz jointly controlled. Even with hopes of peace, Iran's Revolutionary Guard keeps taunting Trump, covering missiles with his photo before firing them into enemy territory.
In the past few hours here in Tel Aviv, interceptors of the Iron Dome have once again failed to take out a ballistic missile. It's caused extensive damage to this residential area. You can see buildings have been ripped apart, cars were set on fire, but incredibly, no one was badly hurt. Donald Trump's supposed talks to wind down this war with Iran includes 15 points, and right now Steve Witkoff is reportedly on his way to Pakistan in hopes of talks with senior Iranian officials. Despite Tehran denying that any such talks exist, one of those officials has told CBS that those points from the US were received through a mediator and they are now being considered. Tim?
Jackie Robson, thank you. Chief Reporter Chris Reason is in Lebanon. And Chris, you've been given extraordinary frontline access by the terror group Hezbollah.
Good evening, Tim. There is a propaganda war underway here between Israel and Lebanon, and Hezbollah gave 7 News this battleground tour in their attempt to show the world the damage, the toll this war is inflicting. It is uncomfortable dealing directly with that terror group, but they've been part of the fabric of the political life here for decades now. They have schools and hospitals, politicians in Parliament. They claim that their citizens are being unfairly targeted in a war that they refuse to give up on. Driving into the heartland of Hezbollah, posters of their fallen leaders decorate the landscape, heroes of an organisation listed as terrorists in 20 countries, including Australia. We've arrived in Baalbek in the Bekaa Valley. We're deep here in the stronghold of Hezbollah territory. You can see posters of the leadership there. They've asked us to meet them at 11 a.m. There are other international media here. This is literally going to be a guided tour by Hezbollah of the latest missile strike site. The Hezbollah official arrives as promised.
No, don't.
Okay. Oh. We can't identify him, but moments later he's leading a press-packed convoy to a place they claim is the site of Israeli war crimes. A home hit by airstrikes, 5 family members inside vaporised.
We didn't find any bodies.
This man lost his sister.
How much anger do you have now? Israel are a monster.
On top of the real war here,
What was that and where?
there is the public relations war to convince the world who's worse.
Let's go.
But already more than 1,000 in Lebanon have been killed and many more are homeless.
There are now well over 1 million people displaced in Lebanon, and this is what they're running from, the possibility of devastating aerial missile attacks. The family that lived here didn't get the chance to flee.
8 lost. They call them martyrs, and trapped nearby, an Australian in panic.
Lead the way.
It's very terrifying at the moment.
It is.
Sydney panel beater Mohammed Betarek desperate to get to his home and kids.
My kids, they're terrified, you know, and I'm terrified myself, to be honest. As I was sleeping last night, I heard planes in the sky. Next minute, my whole house was shaking.
His new wife, Maze, is carrying a baby, but not a visa. They need urgent government help.
She's 2 months pregnant. Please get me out of here.
Worried they're bringing a new life into a place that could easily take it. In Baalbek, Lebanon, Chris Reason, 7 News.
Cheaper EVs, chocolate and wine will come as very welcome news for many Australians, but not everybody's impressed with the new trade deal struck today with Europe. The historic pact has our farmers up in arms, claiming they've been given the short end of the stick.
A $10 billion deal sealed with a kiss or two. A free trade deal opening access to the EU's 450 million consumers, allowing Australia to export more beef, lamb, sugar, grain, dairy, seafood and wine, while Australians will be able to buy cheaper European electric vehicles, champagne, wine and spirits, biscuits, chocolates and pasta. A deal worth $10 billion a year to Australia.
I think you call that hitting it for 6.
We are just very disappointed as a sector.
Even though beef quotas to Europe jumped from 4,000 to 35,000 tonnes a year and sheep meat from 6,000 to 31,000 tonnes.
Some of our competitors like Canada and New Zealand are way ahead of that, so we know it really is a low number for us.
To business, a significant deal.
We shouldn't let the perfect be the enemy of the good.
And on naming rights, Australian producers can still use Kransky and Parmesan, Prosecco and Ouzo only domestically, and Feta, Romano and Gruyere only on existing products. Though his signature isn't on this deal, Donald Trump's fingerprints are all over it, though probably not in a way he imagines. He's punishing tariffs, encouraging Europe to deal with Australia instead.
Trust matters more than transactions.
It is possible to stick to the rules.
And on defence cooperation, another message.
Getting China right is a strategic imperative.
And now
we have each other's back.
While fronting up side by side. Mark Riley, 7 News.
A Maylands couple building their forever home says the system is stacked against them in favour of builders. They say they're now in financial and emotional limbo and have been let down by the industry watchdog. Jeff Parry has this exclusive report.
Rob Martin has some important decisions to make. Whatever he decides, it's likely to cost him tens of thousands of dollars and won't get his house built any quicker.
The laws have got holes in them and we're actually in that hole.
Last month we reported how Rob and his wife Pina signed up with Sovereign Building Company. Its director is David Savietto. Completion is long overdue and the house is riddled with defects.
What do you make of your dream now?
It's turned into a nightmare.
Sovereign was ordered by the watchdog Building and Energy to fix more than 50 defects. The report released yesterday confirmed they had ignored 40 of them. So all the major stuff is just not attended to?
No, it's not. No, because it's too hard or too expensive or just beyond this builder's capabilities, it seems.
Rob Martin says the system is weighted in favour of builders and it's hard to disagree. Niche living got off the hook and it cost taxpayers $40 million. Yesterday, the boss of Inspired Homes, which collapsed last year, was fined $33,000. Vasco Spaseski still has his building licence.
The law needs to change and there needs to be examples made of these builders for non-compliance.
This afternoon, Sovereign Building Company lawyers wrote to Building and Energy requesting an extension of time until May 25th, its best estimate for practical completion. It intends to complete the remediation of all outstanding items, including the face brickwork. Jeff Parry, 7 News.
Ex-tropical cyclone Narell isn't done unleashing her fury just yet. The weather system is expected to re-intensify later this week as it barrels down the WA coast. As Brandon Demura reports, Perth remains in the firing line.
Cyclone Narell has already shown her strength.
Big hole through my roof.
Carving a path of destruction across Queensland and the Northern Territory. But her fury is far from over. The system could cross the WA coast later this week.
By Friday, the system is expected to take a more southwards approach.
That's when Narell is expected to ramp back up to a Category 4. Forecasters predict it will hit south of Exmouth, with Perth still in the firing line. But when it will make landfall is not yet known.
If it shifts southwards later, it could move further south and cross the coast further down towards areas like Kalbarri, Geraldton.
It's unusual for a cyclone to reach that far south, but not impossible. Kalbarri copped it when Seroja hit in 2021. Almost 50 years ago, Cyclone Albi wreaked havoc in WA's southwest. It killed 5 people in its wake. This weather system is rare. Cyclone Narell will be the first in more than 20 years to impact 3 states and territories in one swoop. This weekend, Perth is in for a drenching. Up to 45 millimetres expected to fall on Saturday alone. Brandon Demura, 7 News.
And Jerrie Demasi joins us now. Jerrie, Perth could see some strong winds along with that rain.
Yeah, Tim, there are a few possible outcomes here, but the most extreme set of figures has Perth in the path of some very strong wind gusts. On Saturday, we could see up to 90 km/h gusts. That is enough to do some serious damage. For context, today's strongest gust was 30 km/h, so 3 times the strength of that. Rain-wise, Perth could see more than 100 mils across the end of the week. Friday is when the deluge starts, up to 35 millimetres, but strangely enough, it's actually a separate system bringing that rain, not Narell. Narell's rain will hit Saturday most likely, up to 45 mils possible then, and up to 25 on Sunday. At the moment, it just really is too soon to tell how severely Perth will be impacted or even when and where this system will hit, but we're going to try and break down some scenarios for you, so stick around. I'll be back with the forecast to have a crack at it, Tim.
Good luck with that. Thank you, Jerrie. Still to come, not in our backyard. Victoria Park votes on the Burswood racetrack. Will it have any impact on the final decision? The new plan to fix Perth's hospital bed block. How a critical mistake killed at least 34 people in a military plane disaster. And later, why brushing up on your AI skills could earn you thousands of dollars more every year. The first of 3 health hubs for older patients has opened in Perth South. It means no more driving around to different appointments, with all specialists in one location. The hope is they'll help ease the strain on our struggling hospital system. Lucy Murray explains.
It's a one-stop shop, 1 appointment, 7 specialists. From physiotherapy to medication and memory support. Even someone to help you apply for a home care package.
You don't have to drive anywhere between visits to different entities, and so it's making it a lot easier.
I think it's really great. I've only been here just a couple of times, but so far it's worked out pretty easy for me.
All it takes is 1 doctor's referral.
You'll get called up into the hub, you'll be assessed, and then the team will take you from there.
This is the brand new older adult health hub in Coburn. It's the first of 3 to be delivered across the metro area at a cost of $24 million.
They're an important shift in terms of making sure that older West Australians can get access to the care they need in the community and close to home.
The program is designed to keep older people out of hospital, essential with an already strained health system and an ageing population. In just 10 years, 1 in 5 West Australians will be aged over 65. There are currently 345 older people stuck in hospital. They're medically cleared for discharge but waiting for aged care beds.
Hospitals are important, but they're not always the best place for an older person.
Staying healthy at home is good for everyone.
That's excellent.
Lucy Murray, 7 News.
An air traffic controller has taken responsibility for a tarmac tragedy in New York. 2 pilots were killed and dozens of people rushed to hospital when a passenger jet collided with a fire truck.
Disaster at LaGuardia. An Air Canada Express jet travelling at almost 170 kilometres an hour slams into a fire truck on landing. The collision catastrophic.
An aviation disaster, the likes of which we have not seen here in over 3 decades.
The cockpit obliterated. The pilot and co-pilot killed.
These were 2 young men at the start of their careers, so it's an absolute tragedy.
72 passengers and 4 crew were on the plane. 43 people, including 2 in the truck, were taken to hospital. Most have now been released.
We came in pretty hard. We immediately hit something and it was just chaos from there.
It was just a very loud boom and people hit their heads, people were bleeding.
A flight attendant was thrown from the plane, found almost 100 metres away, alive, still strapped into her seat. It's a total miracle, her daughter says. The fire truck was given permission to cross the runway to respond to another emergency.
Truck 1 company, cross 4 Delta.
Seconds before the fatal crash, this desperate plea from the tower.
Stop, 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 truck 1, stop, stop, stop. Stop, truck 1, stop. Stop, truck 1, stop.
The controller devastated.
We were dealing with an emergency earlier. I messed up. No, man, you did the best you could.
With wreckage everywhere, that runway is expected to remain shut until the weekend. In the United States, Rob Scott, 7 News.
The town of Victoria Park has given the thumbs down to the state government's plans for a motorsports racetrack on part of the Burswood Peninsula known as Perth Park. It's refused a development application based on the lack of community consultation and a lack of supporting documentation. The council has been a long-time opponent of the racetrack. Its opposition is unlikely to have any effect when the project is considered by the WA Planning Council. Work on the redevelopment has already begun. A Colombian military plane packed with soldiers has crashed near the Ecuador border. The Hercules was carrying ammunition that detonated on impact. More than 30 people were killed and dozens more injured when it went down shortly after takeoff. The cause of the crash is still under investigation. You're watching 7 News live from Perth. Still ahead tonight, the secret message hidden inside the King's Baton on tour across Australia. A $10 million money trial linked to a disgraced former AFL umpire, what he's accused of. And the medieval masterpiece set to go under the hammer for a king's ransom. That's next. Former AFL umpire Troy Pennell's legal woes are worsening, with his estranged wife now declaring bankruptcy. She's been left in limbo by his alleged $10 million fraud, and now he's gone missing.
219 games on the field, a no-show in court. Former AFL umpire Troy Pennell didn't attend his hearing, accused of siphoning millions from Sea Road Shipping, his former employer. It's alleged Pennell created false invoices for repairs on shipping containers for over a decade. None were ever serviced. The court heard all invoices to Sea Road were based on a deception. A lawyer for the logistics company revealed his estranged wife is now bankrupt, and the money they want back from the disgraced umpire has climbed higher, up from a reported $8.7 million to more than 10. Until today, there were 4 defendants in this civil case. Troy Pennell himself, the company he used to send the false invoices, 2 cafes in his name, and his wife, Lenice, but she will now be struck from the case. The extra cash allegedly siphoned was found in newly surfaced bank statements. Lawyers tried to serve him those new legal documents, but haven't received a reply. Pennell spent time in jail for contempt of court. Now he can't be found. The money is missing and the case continues. Jacqueline Stanley, 7 News.
Perth Zoo will be the new home of the Vinnie's CEO sleepout as our city's business leaders prepare for a night in the cold for a good cause. Vinnie's has seen a surge in requests for cost of living assistance, especially for petrol costs.
At Perth Zoo, it's not just the gibbons using their voice. WA's corporate leaders will descend here on June 18 for the Vinnie's CEO sleepout, raising awareness and much-needed funds for homeless West Aussies.
These increases now on food and fuel particularly are really taking people right to the edge.
40 CEOs already registered to sleep on cardboard.
It raises awareness, but it also raises vital funds.
We've got the highest youth present in Australia, which is disgusting considering we're the most economically successful state.
WA has an estimated 830 homeless children and young people and 5,070 homeless adults. The life expectancy of a homeless person is just 46 years of age. In February, Vinnie's WA supported 3,300 WA families with emergency assistance, but limited resources meant 1,600 WA families couldn't be helped. Requests for help with food up 30% in 2 months. A 30% spike too for requests for help paying for fuel. It's hoped the new venue will encourage even more business leaders to swing by. The CEOs can also expect a very early start the next morning. The zoo animals wake up about 4 a.m. and start making a whole heap of noise.
We also have early evening roars from our lion and other sounds, so it's going to be a great night. A long night, and it's an important cause that we're proud to support.
James Carmody, 7 News.
Maybe a noisy night too. The King's Baton Relay arrived in Sydney today with 121 days to go until this year's Commonwealth Games. It was handed to the Governor-General by Sunrise's Matt Shirvington.
A man on a mission, and boy, he's still quick. Our own Matt Shirvington and the King's Baton Relay at full sprint across Sydney.
Now look at that and tell me that's not running.
The Baton has already toured some of Australia's most famous sites: Uluru, the waters of the Great Barrier Reef and the Sunrise Studio.
Aussie gymnastic champion Georgia Godwin is right here.
Hello.
As soon as I could, I handed it off to Shervo and I was like, please look after it.
Shervo is no stranger to a relay, a bronze medalist in the men's 4x100 in the Commonwealth Games in 1998. Setting off today from 7 on a tour of the city before carefully handing the baton to the Governor-General.
Governor-General, how are you? Hand, there you go.
This one of 74 batons crafted from Scottish ash, one for each of the Commonwealth nations.
It is the first time that all 74 nations have had their own baton. I really wanted it to represent Australia, like all aspects of Australia, from our beautiful communities, our diverse landscapes. The baton is now on its way to Tasmania for the last stop of its Australian tour. Its final destination, Glasgow, where it will join with the 73 others to reveal a special message from the King.
The word on our baton is welcome, and that'll find its way somewhere in his message when he delivers it at the opening ceremony.
Amber Laidler, 7 News.
The global fuel crisis is having a major flow-on effect. Next, record sales of electric vehicles will break down the pros and cons of going green. Plus, how to cash in on Australia's AI boom. Also ahead on 7 News, bittersweet news for chocolate lovers ahead of Easter.
And coming up in sport, Justin Longmuir joins us after a big win and how Pat Voss has handled the taunting situation. Plus, Eagles rising star Jobe Shanahan and his Bazball finally dead.
One of Australia's biggest online travel sales is back. Where to score epic savings on your next holiday. From budget stays to luxury escapes.
When I knew that I was getting to hang out with y'all, I said, come on, let's do it.
Get your day started right.
Start with Sunrise on 7.
Electric vehicle sales have suddenly surged with demand fuelled by record high petrol prices, inflation and interest rates. Motorists are scrambling to cut costs, sending new and second-hand EV sales through the roof.
As petrol prices soar, so does the demand for electric cars.
Last couple of days we've noticed that EVs and hybrids have just gone through the roof, and we've been inundated with inquiries on these cars.
This dealership alone has sold 20 EVs in 2 days, ordering another 80 to keep up.
I've never seen anything like it.
The EV market is booming since the war began.
With petrol at $2.50 a litre, Australians are looking for ways to beat the cost of living, and an EV is the best way to save $3,000 per year.
Pickles Auctions also celebrating record second-hand EV sales this month.
We've seen a 30% uplift in used EV searches as more Australians look to reduce ongoing running costs.
Well, now I'm thinking about it. The way it is going up, I hope this war ends soon, or we find some solution. Otherwise, there's no other choice. We have to go for the EV.
While the running costs are significantly less than petrol cars, there are some downsides. They take up to 10 hours to recharge, and then motorists also have range anxiety when driving long distances.
Even just overnight we received 5 inquiries on the one EV car that we've got, and we've never seen anything like that before.
Tyra Stowers, 7 News.
Consumer Crusader Choice has found getting value for money at supermarkets this Easter could be like pulling a rabbit from a hat. It's asked Cadbury for a please explain over these popular packs of hunting eggs, which have shrunk in size from last year, but are 20% more expensive. Choice has also called out Aldi for shrinking the size of hot cross buns, but not reducing the price. One of Australia's most unique homes is up for sale, but buyer beware, it's like stepping back in time. Castle Rumble is the medieval masterpiece of a local builder from Logan in Brisbane South. Until now, Brian Rumble resisted lucrative offers to sell, but he's now in his mid-80s and believes the time has come. The 10-hectare site could be developed into 100 homes, so Brian could be in line for what amounts to a king's ransom. Now it's time for an update on Western Australia's blood supply from Lifeblood. Right now, multiple blood types are in demand. Whether you're a new or regular donor, Lifeblood is urging you to book a donation this week to stop supplies dropping even further. More plasma donors are also needed to ensure patients with cancer and immune deficiency get the treatment they need. If you don't know your blood type, becoming a donor is the easiest way to find out. Search blood supply or visit lifeblood.com.au to book your donation. Using AI for good. Still to come, how the technology many fear could help you make money. Don't miss that story soon on 7 News. First though, Ryan's here with sport, and Ryan, Justin Longmuir joining us tonight.
He does, Tim, off a win too, so that's always good. The coach on the D's victory, the Tigers this week, and Pat Voss making headlines. Plus, is this Eagles spark plug set to be sidelined? And bye-bye Bazball, England taking a new approach. The Fremantle Dockers claim their first win of the season on Saturday, a 48-point victory over the Demons. Justin Longmuir joins me now. Justin, welcome. The boys were strong out of the gate and refused to let Melbourne back in.
Yeah, g'day Ryan. Yeah, they were. Thought we started the game with great intent, great method. And although Melbourne had a couple of moments in the second quarter and probably the last quarter where they got on top, thought we held up pretty well in those moments. And yeah, it was an improvement on the week before. So yeah, I'm happy.
I thought Shea Bolton was outstanding. Is that his best game for the club, do you think?
Yeah, I don't know about best game for the club, but yeah, he was terrific. Played more midfield time with Hayden Young being out of the team, and yeah, it was a real weapon for us around clearance. His possessions turned into scores or great attacking thrusts for us. So yeah, he had a ripper.
Pat Voss has been getting headlines, fined for taunting. Have you spoken to Pat about it all?
Yeah, I've spoken to Paddy multiple times. Yeah, he got on the front foot Sunday morning and gave me a call. He was really remorseful about his actions, and yeah, he didn't like the fact that it took away from the team's win. So I'm fully supportive of Paddy. He got it wrong on the weekend, in his own words, and yeah, we understand that he'll learn from that and make sure he doesn't cross the line anymore.
Has he spoken to teammates about it, and do you know if he's reached out to Harrison Petty directly?
Yeah, Ryan, he's had conversations with his teammates. He's had conversations with some of the leaders in the same sort of context as he had with me. Yeah, and he reached out with to Harrison Petty, I think Sunday morning, and yeah, Harrison accepted his apology.
Oh, that's great news. And lastly on that one, how do you get him to play right on the line with that energy and passion and not go over the line?
Oh, yeah, it's education. Sometimes we forget Paddy's only played, I think, 25-odd games. So he's still a young man and he's still learning the game and learning to deal with that enthusiasm that he brings. But the other side of it is I feel like he gets it right 99% of the time. A lot of the stuff he gets right, it doesn't get noticed as much as the stuff he gets wrong. So, there's a bit of fine tuning, but I'm pretty happy with him most of the time.
Yeah, we love watching him. Luke Jackson ran laps today. Is he okay for Saturday?
Yeah, he is. He got a corky during the game against Melbourne, so it was more precautionary today.
Okay, good. And how about Brennan Cox, Jake O'Meara and Brandon Walker? Are they available?
Oh, they'll be all tests. They're a bit individual, but some of them have to get through training on Thursday, see how they pull up. Yeah, so we'll have a chat about that Thursday afternoon.
And how long till we see Hayden Young back out there?
Yeah, Young is progressing really well. I think the timeline we've put on it is 2 to 3 weeks. So, yeah, hopefully it's 2.
Richmond Optus Stadium on Saturday. Justin, good luck.
Thanks, mate.
Milan Murdoch has been a revelation for the Eagles in his 2 games, but they'll have to do without him for the next few weeks. The mature age sensation has a hamstring injury. Here's Barra.
There's been a lot happening in Milan Murdoch's life. The high point, his AFL prayers were answered, plus booting the sealer against North Melbourne.
The snap around the body. Milan, the magnificent.
But after a stunning start to his AFL career, now a small setback. Scans revealing a small hamstring strain. Veteran star Elliot Yeo looks to have shrugged off his injury blues.
Yo. Oh no! Miracles can come true!
His kick from outside the boundary, one of the goals of the year.
And just flushed it and just thought, oh, okay, all right, this is going to look pretty good. And then as soon as it started sailing through, I was like, okay, I've nailed this. You couldn't get any better.
And then looked better than good, mate.
Then did the whole Russell Crowe Gladiator, are you not entertained?
And West Coast are bringing back one of their best-selling jumpers.
Kicking at his foot, and it's a beauty.
Made famous during the early 2000s and worn only once in a derby, and it was a beauty.
Look at this, Dennis. This is not good.
Club legend Andrew Embley was involved in that brawl, but he still loves the jumper.
I must admit, I do see a few similarities between the team back in 2001 and 2002 that wore that jumper and this group right now. There's a really good young group coming through, like we did, back in 2001 and 2.
Next-gen star Job Shanahan proud to wear the new strip. He's this week's AFL Rising Star nominee. Adrian Barrich, 7 News.
Patrick Dangerfield will miss Thursday night's clash with the Crows due to a persistent calf injury. Fellow veteran Tex Walker will be rested by Adelaide too. While Brisbane are set to welcome back Zach Bailey from suspension for their showdown with St Kilda, the reigning premiers are winless from 2 starts. Baz has survived, but Bazball appears dead after England's inquiry into their Ashes debacle. Brendan McCullum, Ben Stokes and Managing Director Rob Key all dodged the axe, but the message is clear. The often reckless playing style needs to change.
They just have to be relentless in how they do it, ruthless, smart, those things. At times we've thrown too many opportunities away. They just have to keep evolving.
The inquiry found there's no drinking culture despite all of those off-field incidents. In a social media post full of F-bombs, a fired-up Stokes declared he has a lot more to give. Australian sprint superstars Gout and Lachlan Kennedy will do battle once again at the Morrie Plant meet in Melbourne on Saturday night. After upstaging Gout in last year's 200 metres final, Kennedy says he can go even faster.
I mean, it was a cracking race last year. I had so much fun. I'm planning on having a similar result. Hopefully we can run an even faster time.
The Morrie Plant meet is live and free on 7 and 7+. And there were tributes for WA football great Bill Dempsey today, considered one of the Waffles' greatest ever players. He passed away aged 83 and was remembered as a trailblazer and a West Perth legend.
And so we gathered to remember a proud man born in the Northern Territory, grounded in culture and community and shaped by 2 things, family and football.
Former AFL Chair Richard Goyder paid his respects at Pinaroo Cemetery today. Dempsey was an Australian Football Hall of Fame inductee and member of the AFL's Indigenous Team of the Century. He played 343 games for West Perth over 16 years, from 1960 to 1976. And he was a beautiful man, Uncle Billy. He could tell unbelievable stories, Tim.
Yeah, he'll be missed. Thanks, Rhino. Australians could boost their pay by $11,000 a year if they learn how to use artificial intelligence. AI is reshaping our workforce, and millions of workers are worried future tech will make them redundant.
University students are embracing AI.
I feel like it's a good tool to help people.
Speeds up some processes, makes it more efficient.
Workers think so too. 84% are using AI tools every day, but according to RMIT Online and Deloitte, only 7% are considered proficient.
If we can bridge the gap, it can create as much as $18.9 billion of benefit to the economy.
And for employees, that could mean a pay rise.
Moving from being a beginner in AI to being proficient or an expert, it's about $11,000 per year.
AI is going to change everything. So it's either going to be the case that your job will be changed by AI, or you will change your job with AI. And it's the second one there which will give you more agency.
Almost a third of workers are worried they'll lose their job. The AI impact is already being felt, particularly in fields like admin and web development.
It really is the time to upskill yourself on what AI can do, how you can build agents to do repetitive tasks and that type of thing, to protect yourself from AI. It sounds strange, but it really is the thing to be looking at.
Are you worried heading into the workforce?
Not really, to be honest. If I do want to go into something with the arts, I don't really think that AI can replace it.
Georgia Holland, 7 News.
Jerrie Demasi's got your weather next, and Jerrie, that tropical cyclone is heading our way.
Tim, a very unusual system. It's come all the way from Queensland, and there's a chance it could make landfall near Perth. A particularly interesting 7-day forecast is right after this.
On 7 News at 6, stealing your car, opening your garage door, the locksmith tools bought online, giving criminals keyless entry.
It's becoming a global trend.
How to outsmart thieves and protect your property. 7 News, live at 6.
Now, Fuel Watch. Perth's petrol prices brought to you by Fuel Watch and 7 News.
Hello, the market dined out early on the US president's taco moment. Trump always chickens out, that is, bouncing back from yesterday's 10-month low. The momentum didn't last, though, and the market lost most of its gains by the close as the oil price crept back up. Struggling department store Myer has posted a $40 million profit for the half year. That's a jump of 33%, but it's still fallen short of market expectations. Not a massive surprise given fuel prices, inflation and higher interest rates. ANZ's weekly measure of consumer confidence has hit its lowest point since records began back in 1973. The ASX 200 finished marginally higher. Miners lifted. Energy stocks mostly went the other way. KMD Brands, owner of Rip Curl and Kathmandu, jumped on the back of a takeover bid. The Aussie dollar currently buying 69 US cents.
Thanks, Tim. Weather time now. And if you're here in Perth or anywhere along the west coast, in fact, severe conditions could be heading your way. A tropical cyclone is about to reform, and where it could hit is anyone's guess. Regardless, it is a good time to prepare your home for the wet season ahead. No rain today, though. 26 degrees was our top in Perth this afternoon. And these stable conditions will linger for the next 2 days under a ridge. Up north, though, what once was Tropical Cyclone Narell is about to become Tropical Cyclone Narell again. It started over in Queensland as a tropical cyclone. It then moved over the Northern Territory, also as a cyclone, and weakened to a tropical low, which is how it stayed as it crossed the WA border yesterday. Right now it's out over the ocean, turning back into a tropical cyclone, and it could reach a severe Category 4 by Thursday. The Bureau thinks it is going to make landfall. Where? Well, it could be anywhere between Exmouth and Perth. It's quite a range. When? Probably sometime this weekend. How strong? It's too soon to tell. There is a warning current, though, for stretches of the Kimberley and Pilbara coast, including Port Hedland and Karratha. Not Broome, though. Wind gusts of up to 95 kilometres an hour possible there with heavy rain. For Perth, in the short term, staying dry and mostly sunny, 32 degrees. Thursday is much the same. Friday, a lot of rain possible, up to 35 mils, but that won't be from Narell. That's a separate system. The Bureau thinks Narell is most likely to be felt hardest on Saturday, and this is the worst case scenario, 45 mils of rain, gusts up to 90 k's an hour, which can certainly do some damage. Then Sunday, worst case, 25 mils. Showers could continue into Monday and Tuesday, and cooler temps across that period in the low 20s. Big week ahead. Perhaps I can bring you some good news now, though, with tonight's winning Oz Lotto numbers. They are 25, 9, 27, 6, 22, 34, 24, and the SUPs 1, 14 and 40. Those numbers again, 25, 9, 27, 6, 22, 34, 24, and the SUPs 1, 14 and 40. Here's Tim.
Thank you, Jerry. That is 7 News for this Tuesday. I'll be back with updates throughout the evening. For the latest stories, head to 7news.com.au. Enjoy the rest of your evening here on 7.